Interstate 86. Yeah, Eastern that is. Alright, we're talking about Interstate 86 Eastern, and this one is a little out of my depth, I will admit straight up front. I don't know much about this road, I've certainly never been on it, I've never been in its area, so this is all just whatever I could research. Alright, let's take a look at I-86's route. We see it kind of goes along the New York-Pennsylvania border for much of its route. It has a pretty curvy route. It is taking over State Highway 17 and will continue to do so. And I don't really know if it should be an interstate. It kind of doesn't get you fast to anywhere from anywhere, but let's see what we can find out. Maybe I'm wrong. You're watching Control City Freak. This is the YouTube channel where we talk about interstate highways and the places that they're signed to go to. If you dig this kind of content, why not give us a like? Yeah. And if you really like it, why not subscribe? Yeah, subscribe. If I don't turn you off with my I-86 poo-pooing today. Alright, first we're going to talk about Eastbound I-86. I-86 begins with an intersection with I-90 in Pennsylvania. Just beyond Erie, we see 90 assigned east for Buffalo, and 86 assigned east for Jamestown. Okay. Again, it's an area I'm not familiar with, but already we're getting a sign on the overhead of a place that I have never heard of before, ever. The other way, on I-90, we also get East 86 Jamestown. In this case, we don't even get an overhead sign. We just have a sign off to the side. On I-86, our first mileage sign is for Northeast. That is the last city in Pennsylvania, 9 miles away, and Jamestown at 37. So nothing beyond Jamestown. At the exit in Pennsylvania, I believe there's only one, we are signed also for Jamestown. And after that exit, still Findlay Lake and Jamestown. Welcome to New York. Here we go. At New York's first exit, we get Jamestown 27 and Binghamton for 246. So a distant city put right on there, so that's cool. And on mileage signs, we get Jamestown and Binghamton. So, all right, cool, New York, right on. Here we cross over Lake Chautauqua, or Chautauqua Lake, and we get a pull through here, and we are still on I-86 East Jamestown. In Jamestown, we get a sign for Binghamton, and we get a mileage mark on there too. Now, Binghamton is the bottom line city at 192 miles away, quite a distance, but you don't really go through much in this part of New York State. It's pretty rural. That's not to say it isn't beautiful. It actually is quite stunning. I was pretty impressed by looking at the scenery on this road. It looks great. Now we're meeting 390, and it is signed for Rochester, and we get 86 East Corning now. So we have switched from Binghamton to Corning for whatever reason. And now Corning on the mileage sign, 20 miles away. Elmira at 40, a slightly larger city than Corning, though slightly less famous, maybe because of the Corning company, and Binghamton on the bottom line here. We meet the weird section of I-99 that doesn't connect to the rest of I-99, signed for Williamsport. That's Williamsport, PA. It doesn't actually go there yet, and 86 East Corning and Binghamton. This one's a little weird. We get downtown Corning at this exit, but 86 still has Corning on its pull-through. Why not just Binghamton? If we have downtown Corning right here, seems like just Binghamton would work. Lovely views as we are in the Corning and Elmira area. We meet 13 for Ithaca, and we've got Elmira Binghamton signed. Binghamton on the bottom line at 52 miles away. That's cool. Right here, there is no sign for it, but we are actually crossing back into Pennsylvania right here. A little weird, we have this little section in PA, and the mileage signs don't change. We keep the same mileage markers, kind of like I-59 in Georgia. Coming back into New York, we do get a state border sign. No welcome to New York, but just state border. And we head into the Binghamton area, and we get 81 South, 86 East for Scranton and New York City. They are concurrent in Binghamton, and now we get South 81 Scranton and East 86, East 17, New York City. When I saw this doing the I-81 video, I thought it was pretty awesome. I was like, wow, New York is doing some great signage here. That is a great sign. But looking at it, if you want to go to New York, you're better off staying on I-81. It's actually faster to go I-81 to Scranton than 380 to 80 over to New York. This is actually New York being provincial here. They want you to stay in New York State and take a longer route. Granted, it'll be shorter once I-86 is complete, but right now it's about 40 minutes longer or so to stay on I-86 than going the other way. Weird. We are now on Highway 17, and on Highway 17 we get New York City 167, and this is where the freeway section ends. We see we have at-grade intersections now as we continue on Highway 17. I'll take 17 a little further. Here we meet I-84. This is in Middletown, which could be a control city on Route 17, and 84 is signed east for Newburgh and west for Scranton. Beautiful views on Highway 17, looks pretty nice. Nice river scene here. And now we are going to meet I-87, and I-87, the thruway, is going to be our final connection into New York. State Highway 17 doesn't actually go into the city. It actually ends up becoming New Jersey Highway 17 and ending in the New Jersey side. So going straight, now we get 87 South, New York City, and North Albany. So let's turn around and now go westbound on Eastern 86. Again, I'm going to start at I-87. We get I-87 North Albany, and we have this exit for US 6 and State Highway 17 for Harriman. I'm not sure if I said that right. And that is fine because these are state and US highways. We don't need a long distance Binghamton kind of thing here. However, once we have our meeting with US 6, we do get West 17 to Binghamton. And we meet I-84 once again here in Middletown, and it is signed for Newburgh and Scranton. So that makes sense. 17 still for Binghamton, so that's all right. Here's our first actual 86 reassurance shield as we go west on Highway 17/86. And coming into Binghamton, 86 goes away on the overhead sign. We get 281 South, Scranton Industrial Park, and North 81 Binghamton. So West 17 is 86, so that's the way we want to follow. I don't know why 86 goes away since it is concurrent with 81 in Binghamton. And here's our split. Now we're getting North 81 to I-88 for Syracuse and Albany, and West 86 for Corning. Got another overhead pull through here, and we get West 86 Corning. Here where we meet Highway 26, we see 17 East Binghamton and 17 West Corning. So 86 has gone away briefly here. It is still just Highway 17. And we have state border, and we see an 86 reassurance shield right up ahead, so 86 comes back once we are on the Pennsylvania side. And at the exit in Pennsylvania, we get Elmira 15, and we get the other state border sign, so we go back into New York now. After our brief foray into Pennsylvania, we'll have one more. Here we're getting Binghamton 47 and Elmira 12. Like I said, Elmira is bigger than Corning, so it kind of makes sense that it's on these local interchange exits, but Corning is more famous. I think actually doing it this way is fine. The local people, I'm sure, know Elmira, and Corning might be more well known to long distance travelers. At this interchange, we see it's East 86 for Elmira Binghamton and West 86 for Corning and Horseheads. Horseheads is the next exit over. We got a pull through here, West 86 Corning at Elmira Heights here, and we meet I-99 again beyond Corning, and it's signed again for Williamsport, and West 86 for Jamestown and Rochester. I'd argue just Rochester out of Corning would be the way to go because, you know, it's Rochester. People know Rochester. People don't know Jamestown. We split with 390. 390 is actually the through traffic here, headed for Rochester and Buffalo, really Rochester, and 86 gets west for Jamestown. And we've got some breaking news. James in Rochester reached out to me on AA Roads to share this NISDOT document that is detailing future plans for I-86 and future construction at the 390-86 interchange. And it looks like 86 will soon be signed for Erie at that point. So that is fantastic. Great news. Thanks again, James. At random interchanges, we see it is Jamestown 111 and West 86. I think I'd probably just go straight for Erie at this point. I don't know. Jamestown, like I said, not very big, not very well known, and it is quite far away. It seems weird to sign that small of a town from so far away. And on mileage signs, we have Jamestown 100 on the bottom line. Here in the Jamestown-ish area, or maybe a bit beyond it, we meet 430, and then we have West 86 for Erie, PA from this point, or Erie, PA, as New York's doing it. And at random interchanges now, Jamestown 9, Erie, PA 34 to get onto Westbound 86. This is really weird. We had that little dip into Pennsylvania with no state welcome sign, but now we properly enter Pennsylvania. We get a mile 00.0 and a buckle up and an Erie Township welcome, but no welcome to Pennsylvania sign, at least not that I could see. And now we're getting Erie 17, Buffalo 87, so Pennsylvania isn't too concerned with I-86, they're just giving it I-90's controls here. And we meet I-90 gets East Buffalo and West Erie. If we continue straight, which is the preferred way, we get to West 90 on this road. No end I-86 sign though. Alright, let's take a look at Todd's the way it should be for Eastern I-86. I'm going to say eastbound. It should be, I'd say, Corning from the beginning. Binghamton is a little too far away, and also there's probably a faster way to get to Binghamton from that point. So I would say Corning, then Binghamton, and then I may have knocked it in the I-84 video, but maybe Middletown after that, because New York City doesn't work. It's not the fastest way to New York City by a long shot, so that's not good signage there. Middletown is probably the biggest-ish place that it's going to go near that it could work for. Westbound, I'm going to say Binghamton and then Corning. From Corning, I would go right to Rochester because Rochester is much more big and famous than anything a I-86 is really going to go through. And then after 390, I would just say Erie. Alright, thank you so much for watching this episode of Control City Freak. We have completed the 86s. They were not long and they were, of questionable importance. I guess the western one I think is more important than the eastern one. Eastern one seems like it would be fine as a state highway, but I don't really see what need it has for the shield. State Highway 17 would do the job just fine. Anyway, though, that will end this episode of Control City Freak. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back with I-87 soon, but until then, keep on trucking.